right. You too could be one of the 20 Zenith Bank customers that will win 150,000 naira every 2 weeks from June 1st, 2023 until May 31st, 2024 in the Zenith Better Life Promo 3. To qualify, simply open a Zenith Bank account. For more information, visit www.zenithbank.com/betterlife. Live the better life with Zenith Bank.
From the Daily Trust News Center, this is the News Hour.
On News Hour tonight, federal government NLC failed to reach resolution on looming indefinite strike. Tribunal affirms Lawal Dare's election as Zamfara State Governor. Traders count losses as FCTA demolishes temporary structures in Area 1 shopping complex. And away from Nigeria, truck-bus collision kills 20 people in South Africa's Limpopo province. Hello and welcome to Trust News Hour tonight. I am Eugenia Abu. The federal government has opened talks with the Nigeria Labour Congress with a view to staving off the impending nationwide strike. At the end of the almost 3-hour-long meeting, both parties say there was no resolution. Here's that report.
A nationwide strike is looming, but the Nigerian government is determined to avert it, which is why the Minister of Labour and Employment, Simon Lalong, is calling this meeting with Labour. The last 2-day warning strike called by the Nigerian Labour Congress was largely successful and gave government sleepless nights as long as it lasted. A full-blown indefinite national industrial action later this month is therefore inconceivable to Nigerian authorities.
Our meeting was very robust and we had a very, very fruitful meeting. But at the end of the day, many of those items that we left are still for consideration and before the final agreement, or what I would call discussions.
But to the Nigerian Labour Congress, the last warning strike was a product of frustration since none of its demand has been met. Such demands include an introduction of the compressed natural gas, increase in minimum wage, resolving the ASU and the NURTW crisis, as well as the issue of transfers. The Congress says it is particularly annoyed by the role of the police in the crisis rocking one of its unions, the NURTW, and says it remained one of the preconditions for averting the impending nationwide strike.
Like the Honorable Minister said, we had a fruitful deliberation and we have agreed to continue to make sure we arrived at a meaningful agreement within the remaining days of the ultimatum.
After more than 3 hours of closed-door talks, it will seem as if both parties have not reached a resolution.
Acknowledge the valid grievances that have fueled the recent labor crisis, and we are committed to addressing them in a just and equitable manner. We must also recognize the economic realities that confront us. As we address the concerns of our workforce, we must be mindful of striking a balance that promotes economic growth and secures sustainable progress.
It was not deadlock because there is discussion, and discussion is a kind of, it has an open, it's an open-ended one, that we can meet again this night, we can meet tomorrow morning, but both parties will work towards the realization of these objectives before the last minute of the ultimatum.
Even though there is no resolution yet, the Nigerian Labour Congress says it will continue to honor government invitations aimed at reaching an amicable resolution of all issues in dispute.
Away from labor matters, persistence of bandit attacks in Niger State is generating debate among locals as to whether the attacks are being carried out by bandits or elements of Ansaru or ISWAP insurgent groups. The discussions are coming on the heels of concerns that bandits are regrouping in northwest and north-central Nigeria as farmers begin harvest of crops. Abubakar Akote has more.
The last 8 years had been very challenging, especially for farmers in the Shiroro, Monya, Ushishi, Mashegu, Rijau, Mariga, Paikoro, and Rafi local government areas, as well as part of Borgu, Lapai, and Kontagora. Figures from the Niger State Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management showed that over 29,000 farmers have been displaced in the last 8 years due to attacks, while over 11,000 children are out of school and over 400 schools closed. But while government and security operatives intensify efforts to address the persistent killings and kidnappings of people, identities of the non-state actors killing and abducting farmers dominate discussion among victims and security analysts. We are still faced with security challenges. There are different groups operating in your area. There are Boko Haram insurgents and a group of bandits led by one Dogo Gide, but they operate separately, but in the same area. Each time they operate, they kill us and kidnap some people and collect ransom.
We did a work on community resilience. From the interview we had with the people in Muya, Chukuba, and so on, they said these people were preaching to them. So the signature of preaching is insurgency. Like mentioned again earlier, if you see insurgency, one, they preach. Two, the sophistication of their weapons and their preparedness to attack or have counter-attack with the army is a strong signature. For bandits, once these things happen, they run away. But insurgents will always want to wait and die because they think when they die, they go to paradise. So their own commitment to violence is extra beyond that of bandits. So from the things we have seen, having firepower to face the army and then still waiting for the army to come and fight, have counter-attack with them, they are signs of insurgents.
Immediate past governor Abubakar Sani Bello was forced to raise alarm that Boko Haram insurgents had erected flag in part of the state, a claim that was corroborated by chairman of Shiro local government area. The state governor, Umar Mohammed Bago, said the state government will no longer go into discussion with the attackers, saying that they have refused to honor the opportunity given to them.
We have already extended the olive branch to them for negotiation. Those that are good guys have already come into the fold. So we are ready for combat now. And that we have deployed our men. We have made some purchases of heavy hardwires, and we are going after them. We're not waiting for them to come out again. So we'll bring them out and flush them.
The residents of Borogu local government had also raised concern in 2021 that elements of Boko Haram and ISWAP were present in the area after an audio went viral in which the narrators claimed to be preaching the words of God. Abubakar Akote, Trust TV News, Mina.
In the meantime, the police in Jigawa has foiled a kidnap attempt and have rescued the targets at Kwanar Garki axis of Babura local government area of the state. This was contained in a statement made available to newsmen on Monday in Lutse by the police public relations officer DSP Lawal Shiisu. Shiisu disclosed that one AK-47 magazine, 15 live ammunitions and mobile phone were recovered during the mission. He said the suspects allegedly shot another 30-year-old Ahmad Abdullahi of Babaruga village, adding that upon receipt of the report, a team of policemen from Babura Divisional Police Headquarters rushed to the scene and rescued the kidnapped victim unhurt. Shiisu said following the distress call received from Babura Division, the suspected kidnappers were heading towards Ringim area, while the police, in collaboration with members of the vigilante group, mounted a stop and search at Daoshi village along Ringim Kanya Baba Highway. Shiisu assured that efforts were being intensified to arrest the fleeing suspects. In a related development, Adamawa State Governor Ahmadu Umaru Fintiri has charged security agencies operating in the state to redouble their effort towards sustaining relationships that would bring an end to all forms of security threats militating against the state. The governor specifically tasked them to deal decisively with issues of kidnapping, banditry, cattle rustling, farmer-herder clashes, and the dreaded Sheila Boys. Salis Lawan reports.
Governor Fintri, who gave the charge at the 23 Brigade Yola during a 25-kilometer interagency marathon race competition for all security agencies operating in the state, says the Northeast Governors Forum in Maiduguri has alleged that some traditional rulers are aiding banditry in the geopolitical zone. The governors said the state in the geopolitical zone, particularly Bauchi, Gombe, and Taraba, have seen an increase in criminal activities due to the influx of bandits. He says the 25-kilometer marathon race, which was aimed at maintaining fitness among the security agencies, will not have come at a better time than now.
We will continue to work with relevant stakeholders and other security agencies to ensure that the perpetrators of crime in the state are dealt with headlong. I assure the people of the state that my administration will continue to provide the needed support tools ensuring Adamawa State continue to witness seamless peace and security for the people to enjoy the dividends of democracy.
Commander 23 Brigade Yola, Brigadier General Mohammed Jibril Gambo, explained that the 25-kilometer interagency marathon was deliberately organized to strengthen synergy between the security agencies for fight against insecurity.
A 25 kilometers interagency marathon race competition, which was organized by the brigade to host all the agencies, and the aim of this event is to actually bring all the agencies together to also build healthy rivalry amongst our personnel and also to keep them fit. And this is also in line with the Chief of Army Staff's philosophy, which is to transform the Nigerian Army into a well-trained, equipped and highly motivated force towards achieving its constitutional responsibilities within a joint environment like this where we have all the agencies together.
He says security personnel in the state will not spare any terrorist, bandit, or criminal in their various areas of responsibility. Salis Lawan, Trust TV News, Yola.
And to the polity, the Zamfara State Governorship Election Petition Tribunal, sitting in Sokoto, has dismissed the petition of the All Progressives Congress APC governorship candidate Bello Muhammad for lacking in merit. The tribunal also awarded 500,000 naira against the petitioner, who is challenging the outcome of the March 18 governorship election, which brought Dauda Lawal Dari of the People's Democratic Party PDP in as governor of the state. Here's that report.
The chairman of the three-man panel of justices led by Justice Cordelia Ogadi, who read the judgment, said the petitioner did not prove the alleged wrongful collation of election results, exclusion of Maradun local government results over voting and no conduct of election in some wards in the state. The tribunal, in its over 4 hours judgment, also said the petitioner failed to prove the allegation of non-compliance with the Electoral Act and fraudulent conduct of the poll by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. The three panel of justices, namely Justices Cordelia Ogadi, Justice Bello Hassan, and Aliu Gegele, were all unanimous in their judgment. The lead counsel to the first respondent, Dauda Lawal, and Governor of Zamfara State, Solomon Akuna San, described the judgment as well considered, adding that the reasoning was perfect as the consideration of law cannot be impeached.
And the tribunal also affirmed that the declaration of His Excellency Dauda Lawal was properly done by the Independent National Electoral Commission in the election conducted on the 25th of March 2023.
Counsel to the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Ishaka Diko, said the commission did not expect anything short of the judgment delivered by the tribunal, insisting that INEC conducted credible polls in Zamfara State.
Judgment. For us that are representing INEC, we keep saying that if there is one election in Nigeria that is really commendable, the 2023 election, irrespective of primordial sentiment, the voters really voted their minds. INEC did one wonderful job that is unprecedented. So what the outcome of today is what actually we are expecting. INEC did a wonderful job and the tribunal affirmed that. That is just what it is.
Lead counsel to the petitioner, Usman Sure San, said their client will give them further instructions to appeal the tribunal because he feels they were being robbed by the election results.
Journalists are also able to show that the election in my ID as well were inconclusive because there was no election at all, and some were cancelled or overvoted. So there are all those points raised by the petitioners. But with this judgment now, look at the judgment, shows our clients, and take a step further.
The election of Dauda Lawal as governor of Zamfara State, which has been validated by the tribunal, is seen as a welcome development among many groups in the state.
Zamfara State Governor Dauda Lawal Dare has described the affirmation of his election victory as a confirmation of the will of the people of Zamfara State. Lawal emerged victorious in the March 18, 2023 governorship election by defeating the then incumbent governor Mohammed Matawali. The governor's spokesperson Suleiman Bala Idris, in a statement on Monday in Gusau, stressed that the tribunal's verdict represents an overwhelming decision of the people. The statement said the judgment was not surprising, but rather an affirmation of the collective decision made by the people of Zamfara. Governor Godwin Obaseki of Edo State and his deputy Philip Shoaibu on Monday resumed hostilities, with the governor allegedly locking him out of his office.
I come office now, and the gate is locked. I am padlocking the gate thing. They padlock the gate. I'm padlocking the gate thing, the chain and key. Both the outer gate and the inner one, they padlock and chain it. The governor said they should lock it. That they are using the office for something else. I have not moved to anywhere. Nobody has given me a letter to move to anywhere. Nobody has given me a letter. So if governor say I have moved, I have not moved. I have not moved. The governor did not give me a letter. Nobody has given me a letter to move. So how will I move out of my office? I'm here now, the gate is locked and padlocked. So maybe, I don't know. So I call the governor, is not picking. So you call the governor that I didn't move because I didn't get any letter to move. Only the civil servant got letter to move. I'm told that the civil servant were given letter from the office of HOS to move out of this place. But me, I didn't get any letter to move. So I'm here. They should come and open the gate, please. And call the governor that I'm at the gate. They should please come and open the gate.
In the meantime, multiple sources within the government house confirmed that the deputy governor attempted to force his way into the personal office of the governor along with his security aides. The deputy governor was said to have arrived at the office of the governor on Dennis Osadebe Avenue early Monday and tried to confront the governor. He was, however, told that the governor was not yet in the office, but he insisted on gaining access to the governor's personal office. We now have joining us by Zoom Dada Ayoka, a public affairs analyst, to speak with us on the latest development in the feud between the governor and his deputy in Edo State. I'm afraid at this moment we've lost our guest, and so we'll continue. If we get him back, we will return to the story. In the meantime, police in Enugu State has neutralized 3 proscribed indigenous people of Biafra Eastern Security Network, IPOB ESN hoodlums, in their hideouts within Ezioha Ngbowo in Ogu local government area in Enugu State. Police operatives also recovered 3 pump-action guns, 10 machetes, and other incriminating exhibits. The command spokesperson, DSP Daniel Ndukwe, in a statement said the criminals were busted on Monday. Meanwhile, the Commissioner of Police, Kanaya Ozuibu, while commending the joint team, reassured of the security and safety of citizens and urged them to go about their lawful businesses in the state. The Commissioner reiterated the avowed commitment of the police and other security forces to sustain the onslaught against unrepentant violent criminals operating under any guise. 4 persons have died while 7 others were arrested following a cult clash in Shagamu area of Shagamu local government area of Ogun State. A spokesman of the Ogun State Police Command, Omolola Odutola, said the suspects were arrested after a raid led by an assistant commissioner of police. The raid also led to the recovery of a firearm and 3 live cartridges. According to Odutola, those apprehended are Asaye Omolaja, Aziz Nofiu, Matthew Adewale and Bolaji Ogunkemaya. She said Bolaji Ogunkemaya was found with the 4 deceased persons in the same room where the killings occurred, while one individual, Wasiu, managed to escape before the authorities arrived. In the wake of the incident, the Ogun State Commissioner of Police, Alamutu Abiodun, visited Shagamu to assess the situation and profile the suspects apprehended. During the visit, he warned cultists in Ogun State that their activities would no longer be tolerated. Over the last decade, life in Borno State has not been the same for many who survived the insecurity that ravaged a section of the state. Residents of Maiduguri, the capital of Borno, have been speaking on the changes that have been witnessed so far as life transits from the days of ravaging insecurity to relative peace and security. Adamu Ngulde filed in this report as presented from our studios.
Muhammad Adamu was once a successful farmer and trader, but has been living life like this for the past a decade. This makeshift structure is where he's trying to raise his family after Boko Haram violence turned his life upside down. He says his chain of businesses, houses and farms all perished in a single attack in 2009. I am from Abadam local government area in northern Borno. Before this insecurity, we lived peacefully without any worries. But since the problem started in year 2014, it displaced all our assets. Borno State and local government are trying to support us with food and non-food items. We really appreciate. The conflict in northeastern Nigeria has displaced more than 2.5 million people, forcing them into camps. The government shut down these camps last year as reconstruction gathered momentum. This is the former school and home of Mohammed Yusuf, the founder of Boko Haram. Nigerian security forces demolished the structure shortly after the rebellion was contained in 2009, but the movement got even bigger and continued to kill people and destroy property in northern Nigeria. As restoration hits length and breadth of the state, hundreds of schools destroyed by armed groups are being rebuilt, with more students enrolled.
I want to assure you that the government of Borno State will very soon re-establish a very functional facility for one.
Borno State Governor, in terms of infrastructure, thousands of kilometers of roads that were destroyed during fighting between security forces and Boko Haram are being fixed, while biggest traders load up goods to neighboring Cameroon, Chad, and Niger Republic. With improved security, farmers who couldn't access their farmlands have returned to their farms after decades of destructions. Even hospitals that were not spared by armed groups are back, offering services to the sick. However, with Boko Haram still posing significant security threat, many are worried that the restoration efforts could still go wrong.
And from Borno, we return to the Federal Capital Territory, where the FCT administration has demolished some attachments in the Area 1 shopping complex. According to the Wike-led administration, the exercise is on the one hand to give way for more contemporary structures befitting the status of the nation's capital to be built, and on the other hand to address issues of security, as frequent cases of attacks have been recorded in some parts of the area. Noel Sampson, who was at the scene of the demolition, spoke with some of those affected and other Nigerians and brings us their reactions.
Those who the demolition affected include kilishi sellers, watch repairers, clothes sellers, and other SMEs. They registered their displeasure over the demolition, with some claiming they were not notified, while some admitted getting an evacuation notice. They came on Saturday, and as the director came, they gave us their maximum cooperation. But there are many properties of so many people. Some gave full compliance, while others didn't. According to them, they will give everyone his space back. Life is hard. The little we get here, we send it down home. This is what makes them happy, because compared to the struggles our people back home are facing, ours is better. Now they have done this, how are we and our family back home going to survive?
I actually patched with somebody. Yes, the shop has been demolished. As it is now, I think the person in question has a lot of people who is actually taking care of, like who they feel he is the breadwinner of the family. So I don't think this is the right time.
They say they are here to make arrangements. We were asked to gather our things and keep them in the middle of the market. They also said they will come and arrange it for us. We are asked to create space, of which we did. And today, we woke up to this development. We cannot say how much we have lost. The only thing is we pray that God repairs of what we've lost. Some officials of the Kilishi Traders Union and officials of the market who spoke under anonymity said they are in support of the demolition as modern buildings will be built. Noel Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
2 persons are receiving medical care at a private hospital after a school turned residential building in Ketu area of Lagos partially collapsed on Sunday. The building, housing over 500 rooms with hundreds of residents, known as Agboye Estate on Odunton Street, Ketu, first caved in on Saturday afternoon following hours of rainfall that greeted most parts of Lagos. In the meantime, the Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, in a statement, said the building's residents were asked to vacate the building under the supervision of the combined team of LASEMA, Rapid Response Squad, Lagos State Building Control Agency and Lagos Neighboring Safety Corps to avert any secondary incidents. Permanent Secretary of the agency, Olufemi Oke Osanyotulu, said the building would be pulled down as it had failed the structural integrity test as confirmed by a LASPCA official at the scene. Some of the victims speak on the incident.
The house in question is my husband's property, and for a very long time, he had given it to the developer before he passed on. After 10 years of giving the developer, he has actually done nothing. There is nothing there and the house is just empty. I'm crying out to Nigerians to come to my aid. Please, I beg you in the name of God, please leave it untouched.
I says at Agboye Housing Estate. I've been here for the past 9 years now. So just Saturday morning, it was raining. So the one on the decking, the balcony, one fell down, then hit the other one. Then suddenly we saw something collapse from the back where we have the borehole. Before we know, things start going down. No death to my own observation.
That's Ketu in Lagos, where a building collapsed. You're watching News Hour on Trust TV. Coming up after the break. VVF patients to get treatment, rehabilitation quarterly. More news when we return. To stay. Welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is News Hour on Trust TV. Here's a recap of our top stories. Federal government, NLC, failed to reach resolution on looming indefinite strike. And tribunal affirms Lawal Dare's election as Zamfara state governor. We now return to our guest who was standing by to discuss the feud between the governor of Edo State, Godwin Obaseki, and his deputy, Philip Shaibu. We're now joined by Zoom by Dada Ayoka, a public affairs analyst who will be speaking with us on the latest development in the feud between the governor and his deputy in Edo State. We thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Well, let's start from how difficult this conversation is really, and how difficult it is to wrap our heads around it. How did we get to this point in Edo State, where a deputy governor has been locked out of his office and prevented from carrying out the duties for which he was elected?
It's a very unfortunate situation we have in Edo State. It was never planned to be so, but I believe along the line, there was a distrust between the governor and the deputy. Things fall apart. The center could not hold again. It is very, very unfortunate. We never thought Edo State would be part of this issue of governor-deputy, but right now, we found ourselves in the center of the crisis.
Mr. Ayoka, let's break it down. Even if the governor was aggrieved, or is aggrieved and feels morally justified to carry out the act, should he not have been guided by the Constitution? Has the Constitution not been breached in this process?
Of course, they have been breached. You see, the issue of governor and deputy is very clear. It's a joint ticket. It's not a master-servant relationship. But unfortunately, most of the state governors see themselves as superpower, while the deputy is supposed to be their PA, or their houseboy, so to say. But it's unfortunately not like that. There has been a Supreme Court decision on this matter for long. I still remember during the time of Obasanjo Atiku, the court made it clear that it's a joint ticket. They are partners in progress. The other one should not see himself as superpower, super superior. There are so many things we can resolve behind the scene. Coming out to lock out your governor, making this and the deputy governor, and that, it's not ideal. It's not part of the democracy. The Constitution is not being followed to the letters. The governor should not in any way lock out or lock the office of the deputy governor. If there's any for them to resolve, it can be resolved within the office or outside the periphery of the government house, not making drama to the public about how superpower one is to the other. It's not ideal. It's not fair. The Constitution is not being respected. It's fully breached.
Let's talk about how the governor is viewed. Some people have said that the governor is not to be trusted as a result of the fact that those who have enabled him secure the seat of governor are constantly in problems with him, and others are saying he's just a principled person. What are your views on the governor of Edo State?
I would say it's a man who is highly principled, and most of his followers or those who are his supporters do not understand him very well. It's not, when he came, he said it clearly, he's not what we call a classical position per se, but a technocrat. And there are so many things in politics they don't seem to understand or follow up to. I don't see him as a man who is the other way. I'm saying as a man who is highly principled. Unfortunately, all those who have crossed his way, they are not on the same path or the same sort of reason with the governor. Most of the time, the governor will like A and they will insist on A. But the other people who are politicians felt the issue should be B. And the man will not in any way budge. He continue along that line. And I believe that the deputy governor haven't worked with the governor in the last 4 years, haven't been part of the crisis that brought the governor to PDP. I believe you should have known better. But coming out to chest out in whatever the governor is doing is not also ideal. I don't think there's any reason to shut down. He claimed that he went to court. And last time he claimed that he had withdrawn the case based on mediation or lobby from certain people. So if there's any other crisis again, why don't you go back to them? The governor should not see himself as an activist in government house. No, he's a deputy, and he should follow to the letters. That there's only one governor, only one deputy. If the man is not if you have come to the office and you find it uninhabitable, why not just turn back? Go and meet it's a political party. You come in the party platform, and the party has leaders, they have elders. Why not you go through them again so that resolve the issue? Instead of becoming an activist on the screen. It's not the best. It doesn't speak well of the state.
Thank you so very much, Dada Ayoka, public affairs analyst, weighing in on the feud between the governor of Edo State and his deputy governor. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
President Bola Tinubu has approved the appointment of 18 special advisors and senior special assistants to actualize the agenda of the federal government across the different sectors of the economy. This was made known by the Director of Information, Office of the Vice President, Olushola Abiola, in a statement on Monday. According to him, the team, comprising 6 special advisors and 12 senior special assistants, will work in the Office of the Vice President, supporting the renewed hope agenda of the Tinubu administration. The appointees include Rukaya El-Rufai, Special Advisor to the President on NEC and Climate Change, Aliyu Modibo Umar, Special Advisor, General Duties, Hakim Baba Ahmed, Special Advisor on Political Matters, and Jumoke Oduwole, Special Advisor to the President on PBEC and Investment. Tokpe Kolade Fashua, a Special Advisor to the President on Economic Matters, and Sadiq Wanka, Special Advisor to the President on Power Infrastructure. Usman Mohammed, Senior Special Assistant to the President on Administration and Office Coordination. Kingsley Stanley Nkwocha, Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Communications. Ishak Ahmed Ningi, Senior Special Assistant to the President on Digital Media and Emergency Management. Mohammed Bulama, Senior Special Assistant to the President on Political Special Duties. Yimba Kakanda, Senior Special Assistant to the President, Research and Analytics, among others. A 75-year-old man, Ibrahim Ejibade, in Jos North local government area of Plateau State on Sunday, accused Dr. Noah Kekere, popularly known as Yellow, of Murna Clinic and Maternity Hospital, of removing his right kidney during a hernia operation in 2021. The victim, who disclosed this to journalists in Jos on Sunday, alleged that Dr. Kekere, who has been arrested for alleged organ harvesting, operated for hernia, adding that his kidney was confirmed missing after the surgery at 2 different hospitals, including Jos University Teaching Hospital, during a scanning. Ado Musa now completes that story.
This is the second time an ex-patient of Dr. Kekere is accusing him of harvesting their kidneys without their knowledge. On September 7, the husband of Wankende Kamal accused the same doctor of removing his wife's kidney during an appendix operation in 2018. The suspected harvester has since been arrested by the police and is being investigated. Muhammad Sani, who took the victim to Jos University Teaching Hospital for consultation on his health condition, gave an account on how their father's kidney was found missing.
Vividly, after some years after that, his operation, like 2 years back, I still remember that we went to Jude for general checkup. They told us that one of his kidney is missing, so we never take it serious.
The victim, while narrating his ordeal, says doctors can no longer be trusted, considering how they use their position to commit evil acts.
This is stealing by sense, because they will say you are sick. When you go there, they remove what they want, which we don't have knowledge of it in those days. If you are sick and you get to hospital, they will treat you for recovering of your body. But this one, when we come to now, I don't know.
Ejibade, however, called on security agencies to do the needful in order to bring the perpetrator to book.
You see, when we are talking about government, if government want to help, they can help. They have knew what happened to me. It's not a hidden thing. So whatever they decide to help me on, let them do.
Dr. Kekere, who after his arrest exhibited symptoms of illness and was rushed to the hospital, had been detained in police custody. The spokesperson of the State Police Command, DSP Alabo Alfred, further said 2 more suspects have been arrested in connection with the organ harvesting perpetrated with Dr. Kekere. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
The suspended Dean, Faculty of Law, University of Calabar, UNICAL, Cyril Ndifong, has shunned the panel of inquiry set up by the school management to probe his alleged involvement in sexual harassment of female students. Ndifong also dragged the Vice-Chancellor of the University, Florence Obi, and 3 others to court for character defamation. It will be recalled that following protests by mostly female students of the university who carried placards denouncing Ndifong, the school had intervened by querying him. Not satisfied by his response, the school authorities slammed suspension on him. The Vice-Chancellor, who disclosed that such a sex scandal involving Ndifong was not the first time, added that he would have to defend himself before a panel. However, Ndifong maintained that appearing before the panel would amount to sub judice since the matter is already before the court. Ndifong said the panel lacks the locus and competence to undertake the assignment in its terms of reference. Public Relations Officer of the University of Calabar, Effiong Ayo, in a telephone interview, said the school has not found Ndifong guilty. As Nigeria grapples with an unprecedented number of out-of-school children in the face of poor learning environment, respective states in the country are striving to address these challenges by rejigging and strengthening their education policies. Hamid Oyegbade, who was in Benin City, takes a look at efforts by the state government to tackle the challenge. His report is presented from our studio.
According to multiple indicator cluster survey year 2021, 3 out of 4 children in Nigeria cannot read with meaning or solve simple mathematics problems. The issue of gender inequality in terms of enrollment also remains a major challenge at secondary school level, as only 1 in 4 girls from poor rural families in the country complete their basic education. To tackle these challenges in Edo State, the state government, through its accelerator program, came up with a concept known as Edo Best. But how effective is this intervention?
One of the basic things before you even say is a child learning is the presence of a teacher, the presence of teaching materials, whether digital or physical books, and also the support of a system, that the presence of a system or a framework that supports their learning.
I'm always happy when the teacher uses TAP to teach us. They always break it down to our understanding and knowledge. And whenever I get an answer correctly, they always give me a cheers, like Love Cheers, Fantastic, like Parapanda.
This system that is used to teach us, I'm really gaining a lot. Since when I started using this system, my grades have really improved and I'm so happy about it.
The PTC, Parents Teachers Conference, that's another way we call the parents together. They look at their students, they see the teachers teaching, they look at the students, and the system we call brush sheets, where the results are being put before we put into the system, where they are. So we let them know where the child is weak.
While the state government intervention is said to be making impact in reviving the early education sector, UNTA, United Nations Children Fund, is worried over the sustainability of the policy.
What we want government to continue to do is some of these proven approaches that we're seeing, right? They need to be able to scale it up, right? Ensure that funds, financing, government financing is channeled towards ensuring that some of these approaches are scaled up to all the learners in the state.
Experts say addressing the twin challenges of out-of-school children and learning poverty, which is critical to securing the future, requires all hands on deck as education development remains capital intensive.
And staying with education, in line with the recent resumption of schools by students in many states, there is an uneasy calm among parents who visit the market to buy books and other school items to astronomical rise in these prices. Jimmy Azande visited the popular modern market in Makurdi and now reports.
Prices of common commodities like confectionaries, including biscuits and juice, have multiplied. That's according to the residents. The need for these items has raised confusion and lamentations for parents and guardians, with some of them saying this was not the situation in their last encounter with the traders.
The situation is pathetic because you see a budget that has been planned at home. What we are seeing in the market is far from what we have budgeted at home. So the situation is really pathetic.
Because a lot of things, in fact, the price is too high. Because as our children are resuming back to school, I went to the market today, I discovered that everything increased. Even books, but everything increased. So, and this is another challenge that many parents they are facing, because some of them they do not even prepare on time.
With these realities, some have adjusted their budgets in order to enable them get what they can.
I plan to buy biscuits, which I usually buy 2,500, and it's about 3,100 thereabouts. So the increase is high. I usually plan to buy like 3 cartons, but I ended up buying just 2 with a squeezed plan.
Subsidy where they remove, where they not plan them. As they remove them, it affect everything for market. Transportation, before I go modern market, from here to modern market, 300 naira. But now they go there 500. So if I come back, I calculate my expenses, things will go up small. I think because I'm done.
Hike in the fuel price is affecting everybody. But speaking for myself, I am into buying and selling, so it is affecting the cost of goods in terms of way bill and transportation. So there is hike in fuel price, which is affecting the cost of bringing down these goods from where we buy them down to this region.
The palliative pronounced by the government may not be enough if prices of goods and services are not controlled. In any case, the parents will have to adjust to the current situation and wait until such a time when things get better. Jimmy Azandi, Trust TV News, Makurdi.
The new China News Agency has resolved to renew its partnership agreement with Media Trust Group, signaling a strengthened commitment to enhance collaboration between the two organizations for a more comprehensive representation of content from Nigeria and China. The two agencies arrived at the decision during a meeting at the headquarters of Media Trust in Abuja, Nigeria's capital city. Habibat Ajayi has more.
With the resolve to renew their Memorandum of Understanding, Media Trust and Xinhua News Agency are aiming to strengthen the bonds of friendship and cooperation between their respective audiences. During this presentation, the Deputy Director of Xinhua News Agency, Li Wenfei, reaffirmed his company's dedication to promoting news content from Nigeria through Media Trust.
I let my team come here, just want to hold a meeting with you and discuss our future cooperation. For example, like maybe can set up the radio program, and let me offer my news products to you. So and other night TV, your company also TV. Maybe my company also can offer the TV program to you.
I think we can explore deeper than before. And just like my boss said, we can invite the management or the journalists to Nairobi or to Beijing to see how Xinhua works, operates. Because right now Xinhua have over 200 offices besides China, so you can see how Xinhua provide our news service to our customers.
Media Trust Group charged Xinhua News Agency to leverage international stories that resonate with Nigerian audience as a way of recognizing the importance of global news as it strives to foster a deeper understanding of international events and their impact on Nigeria.
We have multi-platforms outlets, and Xinhua, I'm also glad to hear that Xinhua has a diverse areas where they work. Videos, text, photos, and now audio.
Wide paintbrush of the African continent. I think more stories focusing on key humanitarian issues in Nigeria would be something that would interest local audiences.
This endeavor seeks to celebrate the diverse and vibrant cultures in Nigeria while also promoting cross-cultural understanding between Nigeria and China. Abibat Ajayi, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Now to health matters. The Katsina State Obstetrics Center, Babaruga, is set to treat, rehabilitate and support 50 patients suffering from vesicovaginal fistula (VVF), in addition to reintegrating them into communities. The 50 beneficiaries will also be trained in skills acquisition like tailoring, shoe and bag making, weaving and other trades, including a startup pack to enable them start a business. Abdullahi Yamadi tells us more.
The Babaruga Obstetrics, Fistula and Care Center receives over 400 referral cases for treatment from across Nigeria, Chad, Cameroon and Niger Republic on a regular basis. Though the center could not rehabilitate the large number of patients that are coming here for treatment, only 50 are to be considered quarterly, according to the officials.
It is against this background that the Center approached the Federal Ministry of Women Affairs, who facilitated the release of special grants by the Federal Ministry of Finance for the rehabilitation activities. And consequently, 50 number repaired fistula clients are to be rehabilitated quarterly in the year 2023.
These vulnerable group are often stigmatized by their communities and divorced by their husbands due to uncontrollable passage of urine, largely attributed to prolonged and obstructed labor. To discourage this menace, experts suggest an immediate stop to child marriage, rape, and other harmful practices bedeviling the society. The victims who are confronted with these health challenges are hindered from participating in social and economic activities to advance the cause of their communities.
The subjection of women and girls to harmful traditional practices like deprivation of access to timely and adequate antenatal, delivery and postnatal care is legendary in our communities.
It is against this backdrop, wife of Katsina State Governor donated wrappers and monies to the VVF survivors for them to start a business in their communities.
I humbly appreciate what is going on here, and it is for that reason I want to call on these women who were treated, rehabilitated and trained that they should be very careful as they prepare to reunite with their husbands and other family members. Please hold the business you learned here with all seriousness to remain self-reliant.
The government is also providing transport to the survivors who have gone through repairs back to their communities free of charge. Abdullahi Izma Yamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
Away from Nigeria, authorities in South Africa say a head-on collision between a truck and a bus ferrying workers to a mine in the northern South Africa's Limpopo province has killed 20 people. A construction company at the site said on Monday that 17 of the dead were its workers who were being transported to the Venetia mine in Musina, close to the Zimbabwean border. 4 workers were injured in Sunday's accident. The company said it was offering support to the families of the dead. It is still unclear who the other 3 victims are. The workers were reportedly going to work on an underground project at the mine, which is one of the biggest diamond mines in the country and is owned by the mining giant De Beers. It accounts for more than 40% of a country's annual diamond production and employs more than 4,300 staff, including many locals. We'll go to sports now, where Nigeria's Tobi Amusan claimed her third consecutive Diamond League title after winning the women's 100 meters hurdles at the Eugene Diamond League. Amusan, who lost her world title last month in Budapest, Hungary, bounced back in convincing fashion to beat strong contenders including Jasmine Camacho Quinn, Kenny Harrison and Daniel Williams. The 26-year-old won the race in the season's best time of 12.33 seconds. Camacho Quinn of Puerto Rico was second in 12.38 seconds, while Harrison of the United States of America came third in 12.44 seconds. Amusan is the second woman to win the 100 meters hurdles event in the Diamond League for 3 successive years, emulating Dawn Harper Nelson, who won it in 2012, 2023 and 2014. Another Nigerian, Ese Brume, came second in the long jump event. Brume finished second behind Serbia's Ivana Vuleta. Well, congratulations to Amusan. Nigeria table tennis sensation Kadri Aruna has retained his title in the men's singles of the 2023 ITTF African Championships after beating Ahmed Saleh of Egypt in the final match played on Sunday, September 17, 2023. Aruna, the tournament's #1 seed, overwhelmed Saleh in the final clash with a convincing 4-0 win to hold on to his last year's title in Algeria. There were mixed feelings for Aruna in Tunis, having missed the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games ticket through injury at the same venue. In the female category, Egyptian teenage sensation Hannah Goda dethroned her compatriot Dina Meshref to claim the women's singles title on the same day in Tunis, the Tunisian capital. Two-time Africa Cup champion Goda was also at her best against defending champion Meshref with another inspiring 4-1 win in the final encounter of the women's singles. An excited 15-year-old Goda described the victory as special. And with that, we have come to the end of NewsHour on Trust TV tonight. Do not forget to follow us across all our media platforms and join our YouTube live stream for more news, programs, and documentary. On behalf of the team, I'm Eugenia Abu. We thank you for watching.
From the Daily Trust News Center, this is the News Hour.